Hello, everyone. I'm Nick Savage, CEO and founder of Savage Flight. And the focus, as we state, is on high performance in every way, in every phase of your life, whether you are participating on a high level with the sports world, or could be a ballerina, or off the sports world or the arts, where you just are that executive or that individual pursuing to be at the next level or your organization at another level. So, what's the purpose of this call? I want to really focus in very quickly here on the world of recruiting. And this is where we are going to address it with sports. But the focus primarily on this case is as we are sitting here in September, mid September. Um, this is a key period for many athletes. Many feel as though that February is that big date where you see the hats come out and tables in front. But many are unaware that in the world of, say, for example, in track and field and some of the other sports, this is a critical period right now. For example, let's say you were that athlete as a junior, rising star, you had a great high school season. Everyone knows about you, is starting to call you, and then bam, for example, with track, you have a great summer track season where all the colleges are there. They watch you run during this very busy summer where you had the world championships going on as well. And then it's time. It's time to take those trips, to take those visits. And primarily what many don't understand is a ton of the money is available right now as far as scholarships, whether it's institutional money, in this case, school, or specifically with the sport. So, what I wanted to do is address some of the challenges that came about as we define the new normal. And I'm not just referring to the new normal with respect to the pandemic, although the pandemic is another factor, which we'll save for another call, uh, impacting the whole game and the whole terrain of the recruiting world. You have some high school athletes, as we know, got their hearts broken with not being able to showcase their skills and talents on the field or court, etc. And the eligibility was done, and they were going to have to find another way, either through JUCOs or walking you on, or in some cases, unfortunately, just give it up and move on with their lives. Now, for that's another issue. But what we're referring to as the new normal is the portal, for example, as we know, has changed the game. We'll say for another call, the prime time effect, right? With Deion, what he's done so far, thus far in Colorado. I know it's still early, but for the most part, you're talking about a guy that always doing things full speed ahead. So what we're essentially talking about is the focus on you are that track star, for example. This is the time you take the visits, you make the trips, and you also have to understand and you make sure you're in that growth mindset, which is one of our focal points at Savage Flight, that make sure you understand when you go to the college, no matter how great you are, the college is the star. And they don't revolve around you, you revolve around the college. And what do I mean by that? You got to make sure you're coming in humble. You're making sure you're letting the college know you are very interested. Even with the NIL, that's another portion of the new normal. But essentially, one of the biggest impacts, as we know, is when you have portal, say, for example, especially say in track and field, we use that as example. Coaches, you have to get in the mindset of the coach and the mindset of the school. They want point scores. So you tell me if you have a 24, 25-year-old young lady or young man who has already excelled at every level at the college, and then you are that rising freshman coming into a college, there's more risk associated with you than that kid, or shall I say, young man, young woman, full grown, that it may be a little more focused. And most likely is focused, because when you talk with the coaches, which I do, they're worrying about the risk. And as Herm Edwards says, the key ability is availability. And with a freshman, you have to go down the list of potential risks that you have: homesick, adjustments to school, adjustments to the athletic regimen, having to do them all at the same time. Anyone that's at a Power 5 school, that's work. And that's probably the most sleep deprived period of your life at that stage, unless you go into medical school later. So you have to really, truly understand when you're taking these trips, you're coming in with the right mindset and right framework, that you're really asking the right questions and really understanding value proposition. And that's what gets lost. But in this new normal, you have to be very aware that who your competition is. The best example I use, let's say you're not that student athlete. Let's say you just really have a longing to get in that medical school, or engineering school, or whatever the specialized school is. Most young students don't understand who the competition is. And if you were just a student, the competition, let's say you wanted to get into healthcare, is that PA that now wants to become a doctor. That they're vying for the same spot as you. And in that case, they're more dependable to the school. They know the bill's going to get paid. And they know that individual who may be that PA or nurse and wants to aspire for more is already proficient in that area. Well, it's the same with the sports. So if you have that jumper who's already jumping 21, let's say it's a woman or a female, or you have that star hurdler who's running 13.2, 13.3, coming out of a Division II or Division III school, and they want to aspire to get their dream to go to a Power 5. That is your competition. So you have to be aware as you're sorting through your choices and celebrating your visits as you're there. So that is really the focal point as you move forward through that process, that really lay out a plan that includes your optimal schools, your wish schools, your safety net schools, right? So that you're really going in asking very intelligent questions and you're really engaged, because that's the other thing the coaches tell me. They want to see the engagement. They don't want to see the phone in front of your face and your parent who may have taken the trip with you answering all the questions. They want to see that you are on your way to adulting. So that's my biggest tip, is make sure you do your work, you're prepared, and you're comfortable, as they say, with being uncomfortable, so that they see your maturity and they see the investment's going to be worth it. So on that note, we'll go into those other things in future visits. But right now, keep your mind on the prize, your eye on the prize, and step forward with conviction. Because the older grad student, portal kid, JUCO kid is focused on meeting the mission at hand. All right. Signing out. Attitude for altitude. Take care now. Bye-bye.